Hey folks, little technical difficulties with the sound there. Hey, it's Darrell Gurney and welcome to the Back 40 broadcast, where every week we are here meeting you right where you are to support you in creating your second half of life as your best half of life. Our message, our community is just based on two simple premises. Like Frank Sinatra sings, the best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? As well as the absolute conviction that you have yet to do what you came here to do. And we speak from experience about that because Alexandra and I, founders of the Back 40, have yet to do what we came here to do as well. So first off, welcome. Thanks for coming back every week, and we committed to giving you another nugget and nudge in a short amount of time here today to help you be looking to see how can you be playing bigger this week. How can you be really creating this second half that's unprecedented and not based on anything that's come before. Before we move on though, I want to just real quickly, I shared this with y'all last week, want to share with you again that we have a couple of new ebooks that are, oh, by the way, we're going to be talking about unsettledness today, and this could be somewhat unsettling. So just, kind of sit back a little bit, get your feet braced, on the floor, kind of, hands in your lap, and don't worry, this will be a fun little roller coaster ride here today as we talk about unsettledness. But as I move on here, I wanted to remind y'all that we have a couple of new books on Kindle. So you can go to Birth of the Back 40. You can find that on Kindle. Came out a couple weeks ago. And also, it's basically a story of how this whole movement and message came about. It's been said to be very, very inspiring. I could say that too, but I wrote it. So, but I think it's a very inspiring story of how this came about, and then a bigger a compendium of stories of others, really moving stories of people who have faced midlife quote crisis. We call it opportunity in the Back 40, but they faced it head on and rose from the ashes and are really out creating their entire second half of life as the best part, totally unlimited by what's come before. Also, you can see there the link to a interview that Alexandra and I did with an amazing, amazing woman with Spark It Network. Her name is Karen Glasser. And if you click on that or write that down or take a quick screenshot, go check that out. Very inspiring interview that is really all about people finding their passion, and what we're doing in the Back 40 is support people to do that. So as I scroll back though, what we're talking about, and isn't that the best quote? Maybe not, because none of us are really geared towards wanting to be unsettled, are we? It's like we want things comfortable. We want things easy. We want things familiar. We want things natural and just, no stretching at all involved. So maybe it's not the best quote given our natural human tendency. And yet I think given what we're here to do in the Back 40 and what we are supporting others in terms of really playing full out in their biggest way, it is a great quote because it really, really does nail what we're here to do, is to get outside the comfort zones. So let's talk a little bit then about unsettledness. And just to remind you, if you go to theback40.com, you can download your top 10 tips for a radical second half. You can see our blogs, really great stories of stretching and creating ourselves and others as being people that are really going to play full out, that nothing that's come before is anything but research and development for what we really came here to do. And you can also sign up there to get a weekly newsletter, and it gives you 2 hours ahead of time a little tip on what we're going to be talking about today, because it's what we talk about here in the broadcast is the inspirational message that I've sent out in our Back 40 and Career Guide newsletter. So if you go to theback40.com, you can sign up for that. But let's talk about unsettledness. You know, we all want to feel, right, this certain sense of safety and security, you know, especially in our foundational, you know, areas of life. You know, foundational area is our home. That gives us a sense of safety and security. I've tended to always be in relationship with women who were nesters. They like to have their nest, and I'm not going to make generalizations about women in general. And I've tended to be with women who like to have the nest, and there's a safety, there's a security. I mean, I feel it myself too. I lived 4 years on a sailboat. It was a great thing, and it felt like coming home into my sailboat, you know. And whether that's work, that's another foundational area for us in life. You know, a sense of what we're going to do today, and the contribution that we're making, and the sense of, you know, income that we're earning. So finances is another area where we want to feel some sense of safety, security, and it's a natural thing. It's natural to feel that way, to want that. And on the flip side, you know, in life in general, and especially for those of us in our back 40, there can be a tendency to really need and want so much safety and security that we risk, that we don't get out of our comfort zones, that we start to just, you know, we quit playing full out. You know, we quit playing in ways that 20, 30-year-olds would in terms of experimenting and trying new things because, hey, they haven't done it before. Because we start to get settled in, you know, life as it is, or ourselves as we are. And so, you know, one of the things that we want to invite you, and we're playing this game as well. By the way, I'm unsettled today. I'm doing today's broadcast from an Airbnb because we moved out of our leased place last weekend. It was the end of the month, and our escrow didn't close for our new place until next Monday. So guess what? We're up in the air, just like the movie. We're up in the air. I'm doing a broadcast from our Airbnb, and you know, it's life, and it's on the move, and things are happening. We fly to Atlanta tomorrow, and we come back Sunday, and we move into our new place on Monday. You know, that's our expression of playing in the unsettledness. And so what we just want to offer today to consider is that as we are playing in our back 40, we might want to really start to look at where we have just taken on being settled. And you know what? I'm not knocking if you know, you're happy in that job and it's still fulfilling and good for you, great. Happy in that relationship and it's still fulfilling and giving you what you need, great. If you're happy, retired with Mai Tais on the beach and playing golf, great. In my experience as a career coach for 30 years, I often found that people's experience of Mai Tais on the beach and golf started to fade after a little while, that people were used to playing a game in life, whether it was with their career or relationships or building a business. They were used to playing a game. And so there's nothing wrong with retirement either, if it's a game that you enjoy playing. And one of the great things about retirement is that you could really contribute in a lot of ways now. You could create whole new games. Again, the back 40 isn't just for retired folks. It's for anyone, you know, 40, 50, 60, who are really getting to that place where it's like, okay, I've been on this track and this machine and thought I knew what I wanted to do. And you know, maybe there's something beyond where I've gotten to, or maybe I hit a roadblock, like what in regular terms in our society we call midlife crisis. Here we call it midlife opportunity because we consider it a wake-up call to really take on discovering what you're really here to do, and using that whole first half as simply R&D, as research and development, to point you to what you're really here to do. So here's a couple things just we want to consider today is, if you mix up any of these groups of words, what do you get? So let's take familiar, breakthrough. I don't know if that makes sense. How about normal, miracle? Don't know if that makes sense either. How about easy, change? Well, I don't know about you, but for the most part, change for most people is not easy. It requires getting outside the comfort zone. Oh, how about comfortable, stretch? Well, I guess that could make sense because some people do a comfortable stretch whenever we work out at the gym every few days. But for the most part, I'm going to say if you mix any of these words together, what you get is oxymorons, meaning they don't make sense together. And yet, what's interesting is that we all want those words on the left. We're just, geared towards that. Our molecules are, driven towards the familiar, the normal, the easy, cozy, regular, comfortable. And yet we all want those things on the right as well. For those of us who do really want growth and expansion and becoming beyond who we've been in the past and creating ourselves and businesses or our careers or the difference that we make beyond what we have in the past. So kind of interesting that you put those together, you get a lot of oxymorons. So we want to talk a little bit about unsettledness. And in thinking about this whole question of unsettledness, it had me look to see what are some of the basic questions that we really have to ask ourselves, that shape our life. Einstein said that there's one question that we all have to ask. Do I live in a friendly or unfriendly universe? And we all, whether you've actually consciously chosen it or not, or thought about it or not, you've made that choice, or we make that choice every day. It's not to say we can't change that choice, but we make that choice every day, and it really shapes the way life's going to occur. Because if we choose one, guess what? We look through those glasses, we look through that filter, and that's the way life shows up. If we choose another one, guess what? Life's going to show up that way. So here's another question that we propose in the Back 40 that we all could consciously choose is, am I or have I been at the cause or effect of my life? See, one of the things that we really take on in the Back 40 programs is looking at the past. So many people consider that they're a victim to something, and it shapes the way the rest of life occurs, that this happened to them, or they had this influence, or this event occurred. And we have a really cool process for reframing that, because if you can take on that you're not a victim to anything that's occurred, and that you actually caused it specifically so that right now you could be in a place to fulfill what you came here to do, that you designed everything exactly as it was so that you could have a formula now for your own self-expression. And again, we can't do the whole program here in a little broadcast, but that is a big question that we all can consider that will shape life. Another one is, have I done or not done what I came here to do? And again, nothing against retirement. And, like I said, if sitting on the back porch and with that Mai Tai, or sitting on the beach or whatever is fulfilling, great, good for you. Probably you're not watching this broadcast. But, if you can consider that no matter what your accomplishments have been, no matter what has come before in your life, what if there's something yet bigger? What if there's something else yet to contribute? What if there's some other difference yet to be made? So that's another big question that will shape what the future holds. And another one that I'll throw out there is, do I have some unsettledness to take action on? So, there's different areas of our life. There's our work, our career, finances, our relationships. A lot of times we just kind of don't take action and kind of turn a blind eye. The only problem is with the blind eye is that sometimes the universe will take care of it for you if you don't. I remember when my parents, Ike, the hurricane hit about 8, 9 years ago, and my entire hometown in Texas went under 8 feet of water. Everybody, including my then late 60s parents, or early 60s parents, had to rebuild from the ground up. And talk about a way to deal with clutter. Boy, that is one way to deal with clutter, is have a flood or a fire or something like that. So question is there some areas that if we wake up to ourselves, maybe I can, even if I don't feel unsettled right now, maybe I can invent some unsettledness, because there's something to be said when one is unsettled, that we take action, that we move forward. And so what we're going to offer today, this week, to play with in this area is, take an inventory. Take an inventory of the main elements of your life this week: work, relationships, health, fitness, finances, your ambitions, your dreams. How many of those are just sitting, on the table or sitting on the shelf, and there has not been the urgency? There's not been the pit in the stomach that says action must be taken. Well, guess what? You could invent that kind of pit in the stomach. You could invent that kind of urgency or unsettledness. And we're always for, when we play a game in the Back 40, get a buddy, because you want to be out of your mind. Like my dad used to say when I was growing up, for you, out of your mind. We want you out of your mind, because your mind is keeping you right where you are. Your mind is giving you your best thoughts and best thinking. And guess what? That will pretty much keep you steady and settled right where you are. So you want to get outside of your mind, get a buddy, determine 1 to 2 areas to invent unsettledness around, and share with each other what you chose. Discuss some actions that you'll take, and guess what? Go take the actions. Take actions this week that you wouldn't have otherwise. Invent some unsettledness, and then just follow up with your buddy, share, post what you see on the Back 40 community. If you go to Facebook and put in the Back 40, you'll see our community there. Tell us that you are attending our broadcast, and tell us what you're getting out of it. And that's what what we're going to play this week in terms of unsettledness and embracing unsettledness as opposed to avoiding unsettledness. And I want to show you one other great quote here that really spells it out, by Erica Harris. It's good to feel lost. It's actually good to feel lost, because it proves that you have a navigational sense of where home is. You know that a place that feels like being found exists. And maybe your current location isn't that place. Maybe your current job isn't that place. Maybe your current relationship isn't that place. Maybe your current financial situation or home isn't that place. But hallelujah, that unsettled, uneasy feeling of lostness just brought you closer to it. So again, we invite you to really play this week. Embrace your unsettled. Listen to our wonderful theme song by Paul Hoffman, and have a great, great, radical Back 40 week.
Inside of me, it's telling me that I can be more and more of who I am. It's powerlessness. Open up to passion in me. It's a golden rise that's calling me to wake up to what I want to be. It's my time to claim my destiny. It's time to let go and get ready to fly. Open my heart and reach for the sky. Starting today, I know the reason why. There's nothing I won't try. It's my let the world know that I can stand up and declare just who I am. It's my time. It's my time. So let the world know that I can stand up and declare just who I am.